Welcome to Rocks Talks. We are back in sunny Arizona, which is a feat based on the snow that some of you have been sending me pictures of and just what I saw during the football games. Y'all, it feels really good. And there's a song that was on the soundtrack for Dawson's Creek. I don't know if you watched Dawson's Creek. And the song was called It Feels Like Home. It feels like home. Like, it really does feel like home, which is great. So let me get you up to speed. Last time we talked, it was Friday. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Seriously. I spent my last official day there, in addition to like working and of course things like that. I got my nails done one more time from my girl Diane at Holly and Hudson. If you end up in Orange County, go to the Newport Beach one and ask for Diane, or just message me and I'll get you in connection with her because she's awesome. So that was good to get my nails in one last time. Taylor came with me and she got her toes done, so that was great. Then we met up with my dear, dear friend, Tana, and I was able to have one last lunch, dinner, whatever, brunch, not brunch, supper, what do you call that? Don't know, with her. We went to 10. Again, 10 is an amazing, amazing restaurant in Orange County as well. They have one in Houston, and I am just going to go ahead and prophesize that there needs to be one in Arizona soon because it's delicious. So it was fun to take Taylor there. She loved the food. Tana and I got to do our last hurrah. We saw our favorite bartender, Grant, all the people that worked there. And it was just like old times. And then it was like, we went home and we got rid of our final things. Some things that I thought were going to sell on Facebook Marketplace, but Facebook Marketplace wasn't having it. So that's fine. We went ahead and gave them up to the dumpster gods, and hopefully someone will see them there and go, wait a moment, I want that. Y'all, my jewelry cabinet, double-sided, actual wood, mirrors on both sides, all that safety for your jewelry. Ugh, beautiful, but not my color scheme and not what I want to do, because I want to do some custom closet stuff that would have my jewelry in it, and nobody wanted it. I know. Those lamps, if you follow me on Rockstocks and you remember Scott thought the lamps were coming, and I'm like, nope, they're not. Those did not make it either. Ooh, they didn't fit this aesthetic. There is lamps from his singledom and some other things. So anyhow, but the good news is we got all of that done very quickly, and that felt good. And then it was one of those, okay, last time in the apartment, and also last time on the rug. Oh lordy, or not the rug. What is it? The air mattress, the aero bed. Don't call them aero beds or air beds. Those are not that. You're insulting beds. You're insulting even the worst of beds by calling them that. I don't think we slept very well, but I think it was the anxiousness of here we go. We got up early. Scott took me to the airport, then he went back and picked up Taylor. One of the cool things, though, is as we were leaving, we were down in the lobby turning in our keys to the concierge and stuff at like 4 a.m. because they're there 24/7. The maintenance manager that was there for most of the time that we were there, we had been there for 7 or 8 years, so we were some of the most tenured people in the place. He just happened to be walking his dog right there around 4:30, 4:45, and so we were able to see him one last time and say goodbye, and that was just really cool because he's a cool guy. So that was that. He dropped me off to the airport. He went back and picked up Taylor, and then they were on the road. I sent her like all these spots from California to Arizona that I knew she liked. Like, I'm like, okay, because I know she loved The Bachelor, especially she loved Tayshia was one of her favorite bachelorettes. So I was like, hey, the resort where Tayshia had her season, plus where the Golden Bachelor wedding was, you're gonna pass that. Like, you're gonna pass Coachella and Stagecoach. So she had some things to kind of look forward to as she was on that. And I just told her, like, this is a great bonding time for you and your dad. You're getting to do a road trip. You haven't done one of those in years. Have fun. I'll see y'all later. I'm getting on a plane. Oh my goodness. I will have to tell you though, at the airport, I don't know what the deal is. So at the airport, get there about 5:00. We get there by the time we get in and out and all things. And I was flying Southwest. They have the best times when it comes to flying from Arizona, Orange County. And so I'm there and I'm flying and I'm in line because I have to check in the Sweet Baylor. And no one, like everyone who is dropping off their bags, they're in the long bag line. There's a woman in the general like check-in right in front, or the full check-in right before me. And she and her husband, and they have all these boxes. Then there's me. There's another woman. This other woman comes from nowhere, decides to go up to the counter and stand there stand there and act like, oh, I'm just doing a bag tag. But I'm like, I know what you're doing. And I have to tell you, I was trying to tell myself, Roxanne, don't care. She must need this more than someone else. But there was a strong part of me that cared a lot. I'm like, no, you're not going to do this. I'm like, this is not right. I can't believe she's doing this. And she just kind of looked over like she literally thought she was better than all of us. And when they opened up the gate or the counter, the woman said, "Are you in the attendant said, "Are you in line? Were you in line?" And she goes, "Yeah, I need help for." And she said, "Were you in line?" "Well, yes, I need help." I'm like, "You're lying, lady. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying." Turns out she had her daughter in line like as the fourth or fifth person. So I think she was like, well, if they don't let me, then I'll do this. But I was just so frustrated with her. The good news is we were all done before whatever she had to do. But I just was like, the energy that I was sending to her was like, I'm like, karma. At the same time, I'm like, Roxanne, don't waste your energy on this. But it really did bother me. I'm not going to lie. It bothered me. So then Baylor and I get through. And of course, like TSA loves her. And oh, she's so cute. And how old is she? And all the things. And we go to the tea and coffee bean. What is that one? Coffee, tea, leaf. You know that one. Because that was the one closest to my gate. And we're in line. And about two people behind me is this man and his little girl who's probably 3 or 4. I'm not good at this. Rochelle, my sister, can like tell you the exact, like, oh, it was this time they were born. She's that good at that. Anyhow, I hear him say to her, "Are you sure you have to go right now?" And she goes, "Yes." And I just see him go, "Okay." And they get out of line. We've been in line for a while. The line is long. It's the only coffee area in Terminal C. Terminal C, that's such a loose term if you see the John Wayne Airport. But anyhow, and when he's walking away, I'm like, dang it, why didn't I say, hey, what do you want? I will buy it for you. Because I just thought, poor guy. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, poor guy. And I'm talking to people next to me and we're all like, some of them like, oh, I didn't hear him say that. Oh no. So we're all willing him to get out of the bathroom. He takes her to the men's bathroom, obviously, because that's what they do. And the woman in front of me was like, well, hopefully she'll be done very quickly and they'll be able to go. But they were like they must have been going. I mean, they had coats on and all the whole 9 yards. And they were on my flight. So I was like, oh my gosh. And I felt so bad because I'm like, Roxanne, why didn't you just pay it forward and say, sir, what do you need? I'll get it for you. I was really irritated with myself. So I'm willing. I keep looking at the bathroom as our line goes up. I am checking out. I'm ordering and I see him. And he's kind of walking slowly to the line. And I go, sir, do you want to come up here? And he goes like, oh my gosh, yes, please. And he came up. He's like, thank you so much. I'm like, you're so welcome. We all just felt so bad because you were doing the right thing. Obviously, she needed to go to the bathroom in that moment. But man, oh man. And there's something, I saw a lot of dads with little kids traveling what seemed to be alone. I don't know. I don't usually see that very much. And I just thought, oh my gosh, Taylor and Scott are traveling. They're just driving together. So there's a lot of like, daddy child moments that morning. So speaking of daddy child moments, I get there, we get on and my dad picked me up. I'll tell you what though, when I got off the plane, that was the moment where it hit me. I remember I texted my dad, I'm like, landed. He's like, or I said, I'm boarded. He's like, no tears. I'm like, no tears. I'm good. I'm not crying. I'm fine. But when I got off the plane and realized, oh my gosh, I've moved. I don't have keys and I don't have an apartment somewhere I can go back to, even if it's empty. I have truly moved. I was like, oh my goodness, this is real. That hit me hard, y'all. I was like, whoa, okay, I've moved. And Scott and Taylor got there safely and all the things. And same thing, he was like, we're done. We've moved. The hard part's over. I'm like, oh my gosh, like not the hard part's over. The move is done. Now it's the new the phase of like we've moved in, but making it our own and all the things. I'm like, whoa, that hit me. My last move was to California and I hadn't moved for 15 years. And I always thought of myself as like someone who could just move and groove and adapt because I left Arizona when I was 17 to go to college. I went, from there to, I went to Baylor, to Michigan for law school, then to Austin. But I always thought I'm a mover and a shaker. I can move. And I lived in different places in Austin, but I never thought that I wasn't this movable, like easy move type of person. And then when Scott talked to me about moving to California, he's like, you're pretty settled here. And I'm like, what do you mean settled? It's like, you've been there for 15 years. You're pretty settled. And I never thought of that because I'd moved in different places in Austin and I'd had different careers in Austin. I got to tell you, This was easier than that move because, well, I just felt better. Partially probably because it's coming to Arizona and family here, but also because I feel like Scott and I are much more settled. I was like taking a risk when I moved to California for love, which was something that I never thought I would do. This time around, I mean, we're married, it's a different situation, but I think that it's good to shake things up. Now, I'm not saying we need to move again. This is going to be we're going to make some changes and do some different things in our lives. But I would encourage you, if you haven't made a change, make that change in a while, like a move that can just like, what can you do? You don't have to like, I'm not talking about midlife crisis, but what can you do? Something different. Maybe it's like take a class and learn how to dance or learn how to play the piano or something that will get you kind of out of your comfort zone a tad and get those muscles moving. And I mean those muscles like just your all the muscles, including your brain, but also just your body in a different way, like shock it a little in a good way. We don't do that enough. And I wonder if maybe that's some of the reasons we're the way that we are in not in good ways, but also in ways where like we could change that up a little. We can adapt a little bit more. We're okay with change when we have it. Which is a thought I had. Maybe that's something what little thing, it could seem little to you, but what's something that you could change? Maybe even your routine that would make a difference and an impact and freshen things up. Because we take things for granted otherwise. Okay, I made a list because I want to make sure I hit it all. So we moved, Okay, so new beginnings, we talked about that. Football, how can we not talk about football, y'all? So we watched most of the games, but so we know now, right, that the Chiefs are in. We know that the Texans are in. Go CJ Stroud. Proud of you, boy. We know that oh my goodness. Who beat the Cowboys into oblivion? Was it the Falcons? We were running around yesterday. I don't remember who, but we also know. So whoever beat the Cowboys, we know the Cowboys lost big time. Oh, it was love. Oh, it's the Packers. The Packers are in. They came out of nowhere. Wait, good for you, Packers. And then we also know that the Lions, the Lions make me so happy because, partially because I went to law school at the University of Michigan, but also because they're the underdogs. So it's exciting. But did you see the Chiefs game? That weather was not okay. I thought that Taylor Swift was going to like pass out blankets to all her fans. I did. That just seems like something she'd do. That weather was not okay. But I have to say, Peacock, shame on you. Shame, shame, shame for showing Andy Reid's mustache. Y'all, do you want to see a man's mustache that had, I don't know if he spit, I don't know if he was drinking water, but that had icicles in it? That's super gross. And they kept like focusing and I'm like, I don't want to see that. And I didn't want to see all these men who thought they were boys and thought it was a good idea to take off their shirts in that freezing cold weather. I mean, literally it was snowing. So I think they said it was -11. Gentlemen, was it worth it? You were on national TV for less than 15 minutes of fame and you literally have pneumonia right now. Bad idea. And you're too old to be doing that nonsense. I can see a college student doing that. You're not going to bounce back like a college student doing that either. Bad idea. Weather seemed ridiculous. And I heard like the Bills game, was it? They were trying to pay people a meal and $20 to help shovel the snow from the seats. Can we talk about why these places don't have domes? Seriously. Detroit Lions, it was cold there. Don't get me wrong. Guess what? They domed it. It is indoors. That's called brains. Chiefs, you know better. But let's Foxborough. Why is that one empty? I mean, why is that one open? Like, it's nuts. Buffalo Bills, why don't, no, open arena. Hello. I don't know. I think that is just caucasity. That's ridiculous. Or ridiculous is what my friends used to say. Get it? Ridiculous, ridiculous. Not a great idea. All right. That is my Monday for you. It's so good to see you all again. I'm back home. I am home. So we'll be evolving more and doing some great things. We're going hiking today, which I'm excited about. We'll do a little hike. And then we're going to go to a dance class that from this gentleman. You can see him on Instagram. His name on Instagram is Big Kid Rick. And he's amazing. And I'm so excited to be able to go to his class. I hope you do something great. It is MLK Jr. Day. Take a moment to just appreciate freedom, equality, and all the things that MLK Jr. stood for. You take care, everybody. Go be great.